back. Still watching Business Morning here on Channels Television. Now we're going to focus on assessing the current economic policies, especially now that we have President Bola Tinubu and the ministers are coming on board. Let's see how far he's been doing so far since the 29th of May when we heard that phrase, subsidy is gone, and the impact that has been coming after that and some of the other policies by this current administration. And to discuss this with us is the Director General and the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Directors Nigeria, Mr. Dele Alimi, joins us virtually from Lagos. Mr. Alimi, thank you so much for your time. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Good to have you. Tell us from the eyes of IOD, how has President Bola Tinubu fared so far?
Well, that's a very general question. How has it fared so far? Well,
concerning the economy, if I may add that.
Okay,
just
okay.
On the economy.
The economy,
yes.
I would say he has taken very bold steps, steps that are not altogether very popular, but that needs to be taken to ensure the turnaround of the Nigerian economy. And of course, those steps, which of course started with the removal of the petroleum subsidy, and of course the merger of the various exchange rate platforms. The implication is that it had some very, very telling effect on the economy, especially on Nigerians. And the question has been, should we have waited? Should we have put some other things in place before taking these steps? And well, the truth is the best time to have done it was years ago, and the next best time is now. And I think what is left for this government to do now is to see what they can do to elevate the suffering of the people, especially those brought about by this hike in fuel cost and its implications on other parts of the economy, and see how they can revitalize the industrial sector to provide the necessary succor in terms of jobs, in terms of purchasing power of the people. And then this will help to show up the confidence that the people will have in the government to take advantage or to trust the government in other actions that will be taken. Because don't forget that we have been told that the bet is still going to be tightened further. So you need to have the trust of the people. The people must believe in you and in what you are doing. And I think to a large extent, good actions have been taken. But the fragility of the Nigerian economy has also not helped in some of these things. Maybe government did not expect the depth of the suffering that had happened in the last few months. But through this, we had it coming. I'll say that. And the government must now wear its thinking cap. Now that ministers are going to come in, they must hit the ground running and work on how to ensure that we provide support for our people, because palliatives are not the answer. The palliative is not the answer in any way. They are just like the name connotes. That just shuts down things that even our system, the way our system runs, the way we do things here, we are not sure it's going to get to the people we're supposed to get to. So we need to address those key areas of the economy. For example, when we talk about the petroleum sector, we talk about the local refinery. What can we do to ensure that the date set for the completion of the turnaround maintenance of the various refineries in the country, the schedule is met and we can start producing PMS and other additives locally. Second, how do we encourage our investor, the Dangote refinery, to start production on time such that it brings to a large extent some stability in that sector. The CBN must also be encouraged not to take too many knee-jerk action on the issue of forex. Since today in our country there's so much reliance on forex to do so many things. We're an import-dependent nation, and that is not going to go away in a hurry. So government must also do something to ensure that there is stability in that area. So I think we can start with that for now.
All right, well, you said a number of things. Top on that is a lot of Nigerians expected that with what, the knowledge they have of the President Bola Tinubu, especially with his time as the governor of Lagos State, that he'll be really strategic. And so a lot of people were obviously disappointed that, he did make that statement of ending subsidy, even though we do know that, the budget did not provide for it. Before, it was afterwards, that we now see attempts at palliative, which we're still working on at this time. And we also saw, of course, that pronouncement with the unification of FX, which got a lot of investors and markets players very excited. But we can see that we're still struggling with the after effects even up till now. In fact, I don't know if I did watch Mr. Falano last week, where he said it was wrong for them to float the FX because the issue is actually the issue of supply. So, a lot of people are like, I hope we made the right choice, because we expect the president to go ahead and have a strategy ahead before making this pronouncement. So it's putting some concerns on the mind of some Nigerians.
Well, I think and Nigerians are right to have those concerns. I think, and pardon me for saying this, I think Mr. President got carried away by the euphoria of the moment during that swearing in and made that pronouncement, which basically was his first. And, you must have a full understanding of the economy and your people. And of course, we could see what it triggered immediately, that announcement. And I think going forward, the president needs to be a little bit more circumspect and careful in those pronouncements. You must look at the worst case scenarios. You must also do what I'll call a simulation of what could happen, everything that could happen, and bring up strategies to counter such occurrences, which I think was not done. And also maybe the absence of ministers who could help to put some things in also did not help matters. So I think it was a strategic error on the part of the government. But then that has happened, and it has happened. And for the Forex, of course, we'll all identify the fact that we are too import dependent. And that is why, when I was listening to Mr. Falana, I asked myself, can we really blame government altogether about this dollarization, the word he used, of the Nigerian economy? I can't blame the government completely. I just watched your last discussion with the madam on the blue economy, wonderful discussion. And I asked myself, the question is, if government agencies are charging dollars, the question is, those organizations that are working with these shipping companies, what are they also charging? Has anybody asked that question? Because if they're actually charging dollars, if their revenue is in dollar, then maybe that is why government is also saying their expenditure is in dollars. So we need to look at all these things together. There must be a way to stimulate the supply end of Forex into the Nigerian market. And until we develop our industry to the extent that Nigerians can actually, on its own, supply what it needs, will continue to be that way. We'll continue to depend so much. And as our taste continue to grow for foreign things, for foreign goods, we will continue to have this issue. So, but of course, government is expected to set the pace. What I usually tell people that in developed nations like ours, there is a place we should be. And government has the role and responsibility to take us where we should be. But in the process of taking us there, it must ensure that what is keeping us moving does not disappear. What is keeping us as a nation, what is making our people tick, must remain. And that is the role of government. So as government is trying to arrive at a good destination, people must not fall out of that course. They must do things to ensure that people don't lose trust in government. For example, these ministers that are coming in, people are watching them. They are going to be looking at the first few actions they are taking. And that will mean a lot for the kind of trust and the kind of engagement the people are going to have with this government. Or already you've been hearing all sorts in terms of, oh, maybe some round pegs are not in round holes and things like that. But I think what will be critical is the first few steps that these ministers take. It could either build confidence in this government or erode the little confidence that is left in the people. So government needs to really, really watch it. Second, there is a need to have a better synergy between MDAs. There must be, we cannot continue to work in silos, which has led to a lot of wastages in public expenditure. If we don't work in silos, if we work together, we will spend much less than we are spending now, even not just government, even the people. So these are, for me, the lowest hanging fruits for the government to take now and to start moving.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about the ministers, because that's also another area of concern. You know, when you see people like Senior Advocate of Nigeria now to be heading aviation, or now we see the former governor of Osun State heading, you know, marine and blue economy. And we know that these are technical areas. But I guess, as our guest said, Mrs. Boma, perhaps if they listen to the industry experts, you know, they can still get that confidence you just talked about. And you also did mention some of those low-hanging fruit. And the issue of trust as well as synergy, you know, between these ministries is also a very big deal, because it has robbed Nigeria of a certain level of development even before now. How do we emphasize that enough, the issue of coordination and, you know, collaboration between the ministries?
Yeah, I think Mr. President needs to take the bull by the horn. I think that is the critical thing. The president needs to set the tone from his own end. That, look, this is what I'm going to condone. This is not what I'm going to condone. Of course, when you look at where we're coming from, it's not going to be El Dorado suddenly. But if the tone is set and there is a conscious effort, deliberate and conscious effort to say, look, this government is going to work together. We are going to have synergy. And in talking to the ministers today, let them know that we cannot afford to have the kind of disgraceful things we had in the past. We cannot afford it. The nation cannot afford it. So there is a need for the president to set that tone right from the top, right from today, and let them know what is happening. And not just for the ministries, also for the various departments and agencies. And second, the other aspect that we don't seem to look at very well is the issue of the civil servants themselves. We talk about the blue economy, we talk about it. Are we going to put in a measure to develop the capacity of these key officers at the various ministries, development and agencies to be able to handle this new area that Nigeria is going into? That is very critical. Third, there must be proper engagement with professionals in those fields. Of course, the government will tell you, yes, sometimes when we listen to professionals, we also look at common good that is looking at it from a bigger picture, how it affects the other side of it. But look, it is important to listen to people who are in the sector. They play a critical role in the success of those policies. So we must listen to them. And I think if that is done, it will go a long way to build confidence in the economy. And the more people have confidence in the economy, the more they are able to invest in it. If you don't build that confidence of the people and of the investing public, we are just wasting our time.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dele Alimi, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of Institute of Directors Nigeria. Thank you so much for your perspective. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.